is an idea that is in almost every religion known to man. Heck, it's even in science if you think about it, because we study physics.
Mm-hmm.
So the term that George Lucas used is just a word that's supposed to describe the collective. Now, that being said, your 3 quotes that I gave you, I want you to pick out the one that closest relates to how you have come to understand the Force tonight.
I personally like this one by, I'm not sure how you pronounce the name, what is it?
Chris Ryan.
Ryan, Jedi Knight. His quote says, "Does the Force control us? To a large extent, people cannot stand the concept that we are not in control of our own destinies. And it is understandable that we all want to know that what we do has some bearing, that it matters. And it does. The Force does not control us. We can learn from it and even let it guide our actions when we so choose. But it is our choice, just as it is up to us to understand what it is we feel in the Force and act on it accordingly. The will of the Force is always present, but it is the Jedi that makes that will known."
Okay. For me, mine's by the unknown author at the Temple of Jedi Order. Okay. The Force connects all living things, gives animation to the universe, and provides a template of existence. Yet those explanations are too broad to go into real detail on. To put it simply, the Force is also called the majestical, the holy, the unexplainable. Energy found in nearly every religion and science philosophy. It is a blanket term for these energies, as each of the terms are interconnected and each can be converted between each other and share the same properties. These properties are that this energy guides, integrates, and is generated by life. It may be used or tapped into with proper training and infinite in their potential. Just knowing this, you now know that what the Force is, but there is so much more.
I know it is so much more than that, and in short, it's simply indescribable, and it holds no true definition, and I just don't see how it could be placed in words, other than that the Force is life, the Force is death, the Force is everything, and the Force is nothing. All at once.
Who said that?
T-I-H.
Tiff. H.
Is there an H?
T.
Oh, tilt.
Oh, it's Tilt. Okay, Tilt.
I think I like this one, Flowering Pearl. Welcome to the academy that breaks down, analyzes, debates about, actualizes, and has unlimited fun with the Force. We all have our own perceptions about what this Force is, but it can be summed up in one word, reality. Completely unbiased and indiscriminate. The Force, Tao, God, all choices. There are countless names, is everything. Every material object, every organism, every process, thought, emotion, feeling, perspective, and experience. The Force is the infinite string of pearls that threads, binds, and connects all living things with an invisible illumination of being.
This one definitely caught my attention. It's by same one that Bree read, Chris Ryan. There are many who will say that there is no such thing as the will of the Force, that the Force is not sentient and thus can have no will. They are halfway right. The Force is not sentient, but neither is the wind. But it blows as it wants. The Earth continues on its natural orbit. Rivers flow the same regardless of who or what is in them.
Alright. I was gonna pick a Chris Rain quote, but I figured everyone else would, so I picked this. It says, "My view is a mesh of Christian ideas likening the will of the Force to the will of God. With either terminology, what that means for me is that I can have my own agenda in life all I want, but I have to accept and understand that there are other forces and factors at work in life that are also in operation. Be that a collective consciousness, the Force, God, or just my own will be thwarted or adapted. The will of the Force is the way things are meant to be." Spark Valen.
Sparky. I love Sparky. You know, she's kind of my role model. No one heard me say that.
Yes, we did. It's on camera.
Okay. I'm going to read Lisa's first.
Since she's still camera womaning.
Yes. All right. Her quote is from Hannigan. "I see the Force in the same way as I see Reiki. in the last Reiki program I took, there is an intro about Ki. And the Reiki that looks very close to how the Force is described in the Star Wars books and movies. I also see the Force in the same way as I do Dragon Magic and basic Wicca, which is quote-unquote around the Force all the time in that quotation. As you can see there, Force quotation marks, yes.
Wait. Bring it back. I want to use this.
Okay, Force quotation marks, there we go.
Quotation marks.
Alright, so anyway, I actually had to pick two because of the fact that both of these were,
Two.
I couldn't really get away
Was
from
that
both of
time?
them, okay? But I read fast and I read clearly, so just bear with me a minute, please. The first one I picked was from Biska. I don't particularly believe in the Force as such, but if I did at this moment, I would describe the Force as an energy present in everything. The Force appears to either have no intent or intends a great many things. My interpretation is that it is the bearer that imposes the intent. Pretty much agree with what was already said. The Q is silent, so I'm going to go with Orbis, because the Q is actually supposed to be silent there because there's no U to make a sound with. In any case, to the point, it is life force. It is the life force itself, but more than that, it permeates everything, even things we may initially perceive to be inanimate, and joins everything together.
That's a Coke can.
It has been around since the beginning, and the idea of the Force has been around since there have been intelligent minds around to describe it. The Force itself is at the core of existence itself, yet like the Tao, it is something which can never be completely nailed down.
That was some awesome product placement.
Anyways, Ziga says, which I like this one because he's obviously a mind searching for knowledge. I have studied a lot of mind over matter, quantum physics, chai, however you want to pronounce it, telekinesis, meditation, astral projection, hypnosis, and many others. They all lead to a force that is way beyond understanding. It seems that the more you try to understand, the more it slips between your fingers. But I have seen something that some of you may see as impossible. I have realized that your beliefs/faith may be a powerful tool to reach your goal and also your intentions, like for example, the greater good. Period. End of comment.
Does the greater good remind anyone else of Hot Fuzz?
Yes.
Well, not me, because the way it's spelled.
The one that jumped out at me most was from David, simply put. In its purest form, I don't see the Force. It's not that there's nothing to see, because nothing is still something. Every other filter of perception is a value I've has placed on it. Okay. From this I can then see it as many forms. It is a vibrational and electromagnetic energies, both of which form a void of space, physical matter, and biological organisms. The concept of worship eludes me, but I cannot stop from celebrating isness.
Okay, so since Corbin and Lisa,
Other Lisa.
yeah, the other Lisa ended up leaving, I picked out two from them. The first one is by Darren Williams. I'm pretty sure he was Widge in a former lifetime, but I sort of get him confused on that one. Anyways, the Force is in everything? Question mark. Yep, and do you know why? It's because the Force is everything. Or more exactly, everything is a manifestation of the Force.
So we're just a manifestation.
I wanted that one.
And then we have Garen Brightblade. The Force is the blowing wind, the running water, the binding of all things, and yet the destroyer of all things. Poetically, this is very pretty and all, but it is how I view the Force. The Force is the current that inspires all religion and all spirituality, and in doing so, runs throughout the history of man and long before it. The Force is timeless and limitless. As such, it had no beginning, and it will have no end.
Good point.
So, is my class a go?
It's up to you.